Hi, my name is Anthony Polvanelli and I'm with Bud Smale Motor Cars in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I'm here today to do a ride along with you in the all-new 2017 Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Let's get started. And we're off in the 2017 Mercedes-Benz E300. This is the Mercedes-Benz that is going to up the ante in the semi-autonomous vehicle game. One of the biggest advancements that Mercedes made when developing this new E-Class was with the wealth of driver's assistance features, some of which I'll be able to show you on our drive today.
Woo! Yeah.
The new masterpiece of intelligence from Mercedes-Benz features a standard navigation display. It's much larger than the outgoing model. It's actually a 12.3-inch display, which you'll notice looks somewhat similar from the S-Class model. You'll notice it right here on the display in front of us. A couple of pretty cool things about it. Obviously you can adjust the camera angles, both with the zoom angles, if you want to see sort of a bird's eye, three-dimensional views, things like that. Also too, you're capable of viewing things like real-time traffic, all directly from this display. Mercedes also has an instrument cluster display in the center here, directly behind the steering wheel. And what's great about that is it gives you the ability to also adjust separate controls, showing everything from your navigation, your radio, media interface, etc. right here where your field of view basically lies with the road. So having two screens like that really lets you, be able to see two things at once while still being able to keep your eyes fixed on the road ahead. This 12.3-inch display is standard on the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. There is an option to upgrade to all digital, and what I mean by that is you can, in addition to having this 12.3-inch display, have a second 12.3-inch display taking the place of all of the analog gauges, making them digital, as well as giving you a much larger instrument cluster display in the center. Also too, with the upgraded 12.3-inch secondary display, you have the ability to change between three different view modes. There's a sport mode, a classic, and a progressive, all three of which give you a little bit of a different view of the gauges depending on your driving preferences. Another cool thing that Mercedes developed for this particular vehicle, they feel like with all the new tech advancements that despite the fact that they want you to keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel, it might cause some drivers to feel like they need to take their hands off the wheel to operate all of the separate types of instrument clusters and displays. Mercedes thought about that and came up with a way to get around that. Their method was touchpad controls on the steering wheel. What's great is now if you keep your hands either at a lower position, a higher position, or at a relatively centered position on the steering wheel, your thumbs lie basically right on this center touchpad on both sides of the steering wheel. You now have a right touchpad and a left touchpad which can adjust both of your screens. If I want to adjust my navigation display, I can simply click through these options while still keeping my eyes focused on the road, barely having to make a little bit of adjustment with my eye height, and still keeping my hand directly where it's meant to be on the steering wheel, while being able to adjust things like the navigation, radio, phone settings, even things such as the vehicle settings. Some of those vehicle settings have changed for 2017. A couple of little ones to bring up about. If I go to the vehicle settings here, you'll notice they've changed the outgoing carousel menu and made it a little bit more streamlined. It's this right menu here where you can see everything such as your driver's assistance features, whether or not you want to turn on or off certain features based on your preference, your real-time fuel consumption, even things such as your light settings and vehicle settings, as well as, of course, a digital operator's manual.
Woo! Yeah.
Speaking of the light settings, although we are in a relatively sunny atmosphere right now with it being daytime, I can still show it to you on this screen. If you go to the light settings, you not only have the ability to adjust things such as your vehicle locator lighting, which will turn on or off based on when you're approaching the car, locking or unlocking it at nighttime, things like that. Also the delay switches for the interior lighting. And something else that they kind of advanced was the ambient lighting. So on our previous models, we had options to adjust our ambient lighting anywhere from 3 colors in some of the models up to 12 colors on some of our most advanced models, such as our Mercedes-Benz S-Class. The E-Class took it a step further. They actually want you to be able to customize the interior color of the lighting, just like you can customize, having so many different options for paint color, interior color, and individualized features. The new Mercedes-Benz ambient lighting features 64 colors. You can customize this color to whatever your favorite color is. Also, backing through the menus on this control is much easier now than it used to be. Mercedes features on both sides of the touchpad a home/back button in the upper right and upper left on both sides. What's great about that is no matter which menu you're in, whether you're in the vehicle settings, you're in the radio, or in any of the settings on here, you can simply press this button and back out step by step without losing where you were at. You'll notice too, while I was talking about the light settings, a little icon came up on the display here, a little red triangle, and there was also a little bit of a beep. What that was is the vehicle was equipped with a system formerly known as Collision Prevention Assist Plus, which is now considered Active Brake Assist. And what that system is doing at all times is it is checking to see if I'm either approaching the vehicle in front of me too fast, or there's a chance at me colliding with the car because either I'm not paying attention or maybe that car kind of cut in front of me, something of that nature. Speaking of driver's assistance features, one of the really cool options on the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, as well as a lot of our cars, was always our adaptive cruise control system, which is our Distronic Plus with steering assist. The Distronic Plus system with steering assist has the ability to not only set you at a certain speed with your cruise control, but keep you a particular distance from the cars in front of you. If in the event that you stop for a certain period of time and you need to reactivate it, you simply press the accelerator and it reactivates the cruise control at that distance. Mercedes took that a step farther though for 2017 with the E-Class. Distronic Plus with steering assist has now been replaced with a system known as Drive Pilot. And what Drive Pilot has done is it's taking all the same elements of that, equipped it with additional sensors all around the vehicle, not only showing you your front and rear sensors, but as well as along the sides. Also makes it a little bit easier to re-engage the system in the event that it is disengaged because you were sitting at a stop for too long, something of that nature. And they've also incorporated a system known as Active Lane Change Assist with the Drive Pilot, which Active Lane Change Assist allows this vehicle to become the first car in its class to change lanes by itself. You simply put the turn signal on for about 2 seconds, let it click twice, and as long as the car senses that there's no one in the lane next to you and it's safe to change lanes, it changes lanes all by itself. Of course, with the semi-autonomous features and with things like steering assist that can aid in the steering, Mercedes still likes to let you know that this is not a fully autonomous car. It's merely semi-autonomous, and that's meant to just assist the driving. It's still important to keep focused on the road at all times and keep your hand on the wheel. Mercedes thought of a lot of great innovations, including the new backup camera on the all-new E-Class. You'll also notice whenever the vehicle's backing up, you have the ability to change the camera angles. Swing on your parking pilot, which can find a parking spot for you. Also, too, the parking pilot, you can pull in, you can back in with it, you can pull out, back out, and you can parallel park, all with the new parking pilot. Pretty cool stuff. Or, while you just have your simple backup camera up, notice these series of what look like little buttons. Those are your parking sensors. So, all around this vehicle at all times, these sensors are on. And unlike the outgoing Parktronic system that only sensed your upper left, upper right, bottom left, and bottom right corners, the new system senses the entire car. Even if you're getting close to a curb on the side of your vehicle, it'll know and it'll show you. You'll notice too, once I started to drive forward, the system stayed on momentarily. It knows that while you're still going under about 20 miles per hour, that there's a chance that you're still in a parking lot, you still need to kind of have that full field of view. So it keeps the screen on just long enough until you kind of get going and it gets the feeling that you're probably onto an actual road now. The 2017 E300 from Mercedes-Benz features a 2-liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, which features 241 horsepower and 273 pound-foot of torque. That's the same amount of torque as the outgoing V6. However, this vehicle is lighter. It's over 100 pounds lighter. Also, given the fact that the outgoing 7-speed automatic transmission has been replaced with Mercedes 9G-tronic 9-speed transmission. It's best in class, features more shift points than any other transmission in this mid-size luxury category, and it not only provides better fuel economy and smoother shifts, but when tested, the outgoing Mercedes-Benz E-Class featured a 0 to 60 time of 6.4 seconds. The new 17 E-Class features a 0 to 60 time of 6.2 seconds. So it's actually faster. Another great feature from Mercedes-Benz is the dynamic select. At any time in the middle of gassing, in the middle of braking, even at a stop, you can simply switch the switch up or down. You have 5 different driving modes: economy, comfort, which is what we have been driving in, sport, sport plus, and individual. You'll notice as I switch the settings, it shows up on both the instrument cluster as well as the command display. Individual is a system that actually lets you customize how the car drives to your exact needs. Let's put it in Sport Plus for a moment and see how the driving dynamics change a little bit. The car is going to feel quicker, the shift points are going to be a little bit faster. Basically, the engine is actually helping to hold it at a higher rev point as well with the motor. So now you feel like you have more power quicker. This doesn't turn on or off a turbo, anything like that. It just gives you the feeling like the car is actually going faster because of the higher rev point. It also too adjusts the feel of the steering. So in a sportier setting, the steering now feels stiffer, it feels a little quicker, and on a windy road like this, it's just a great experience. Mercedes also has for quite some time now featured a system known as Airmatic air suspension. They upped the ante a little on the 2017 E-Class. So Airmatic air suspension has now been replaced by air body control, and the new air body control system is also integrated with dynamic select on certain models. So if you're wanting to, in addition to be able to change the feel of the steering and the shifting of the engine, if you'd also like to be able to change the ride height and the feel of the suspension, simply add air body control to your build or purchase a model that has air body control, and this switch will also adjust the ride suspension. Because cell phones have become such a vital part of a lot of our lives, and we all have them, Mercedes thought of a nice way to integrate wireless charging into this vehicle rather than having to use any kind of cable at all. Whereas this vehicle still features multiple USB ports in the center console, as well as a USB port here. They also give you the ability to wirelessly charge select devices. Newer Android devices such as the Galaxy S5, 6, and 7, as well as phones such as the new iPhones that have the NFC wireless case, can be simply placed on this pad that you see here in the center console, and with the near-field communication charging system right here, the vehicle can help keep it at a charge and in some cases help to actually recharge the device.
Yeah.
A system that I would love to demonstrate for you, but unfortunately we would have to get into an accident to be able to demonstrate, is Mercedes-Benz Pre-Safe. So Mercedes-Benz invented Pre-Safe back in 2002. And what Pre-Safe is it is a system which has multiple different types of components that in the event the car can tell that there's a chance of a collision. And what I mean by that is based on the driving dynamics and vehicles around the car, if it senses there's a chance you might collide with another vehicle, or if it senses there's a chance that you might roll over, you might get hit from the side, things like that. Mercedes has some innovations already set up, working in the background, which will lessen the likelihood of getting injured in the event of a collision. So pre-safe priorly has already been able to do things such as close the sunroof within a few milliseconds in the event that it's open and it senses there's a chance at a rollover, close the side windows, as well as do things like adjust the positioning of the passenger seat so the airbags can fire properly and not injure the person sitting in the passenger seat. Pre-safe advanced a little further than that on the 2017 E-Class. So a couple of things that Mercedes added were pre-safe impulse side. It's an industry first that what it does is it actually can inflate the side seat bolster in the event that it senses a chance at a side collision to help push you about anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches away from the danger zone along the side. Also, Mercedes, in another industry first, had done some research and found that in the event of some collisions, a consumer's hearing could actually be injured just because of the noise emitted, not only from the collision itself, but from the sound an airbag makes whenever it's actually deployed. Deployment of an airbag is similar in volume to a gunshot. So Mercedes wanted something to kind of offset that and help to protect someone's hearing. And they invented a system called pre-safe sound. Pre-safe sound emits what is called a pink noise. I would play you a sample of it, but unfortunately you wouldn't hear it. The way pink noise works is when it is played, the stapedius muscle inside of your ear contracts, and what that does is it helps to protect the eardrum and a lot of the smaller bones and muscles within your ear from having any kind of damage. That short emitting of a pink noise at that exact moment a collision occurs will help to protect your hearing if any type of a collision or an accident does happen. All of these new systems, from the driver's assistance to the new technology, new levels of performance, even having just a lighter and more nimble car while actually giving you even more space, has really made the new 2017 E300 a masterpiece of intelligence. Thanks again for taking a ride with me in the 2017 Mercedes-Benz E300. For more information, visit us on the web at smailmercedesbenz.com or stop in and take one for a ride.